Namaste and Lakech, my family, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk with Rion. How you guys doing out there? As I get my thoughts organized here for this amazing little video I'm going to make for you guys today. Lots of amazing things are happening on Earth. I'm going to label this video The Flow of the Universe. I think that's an appropriate title. So I can stay in my slipstream about what happened last night. I was in multiple countries last night, facilitating multiple changes to the conscious levels of territories in Europe and in the Middle East. The coolest visual I can give you about the one that I just came from was there's this train. I was in 4D, I was with a bunch of other of my administrators, and you had to catch this train from the territory to the airport where you can get transported out, right? And they had these huge cast iron, almost like medieval time gates that would drop on the road, and they were closed at all times unless the train went by. Then the gate would open, the train would go through, and it'd close again. It was very, very real for me. I actually saw what you guys would consider the portals or the doorways of the access points in those specific territories on Earth. What that actually looks like for real. Not like I have a feeling or a deal. I actually was walking through these gates on a train, staring up at the gates as they closed behind me. As per norm, I was late. So I actually asked this guy to give me a ride to the airport, and it was a pretty funny conversation. Apparently they know who we are. When you go through TSA and 4D, they actually know who you are. They're like, I'm not going to check your bag. Ha ha ha. You know, I had a backpack and some things. It's basically kind of feels like being a special agent. It kind of feels like you're James Bond, some of us when we do our stuff. And that kind of a feeling. Here's the reason why. Not that you're doing anything bad or mischievous. Rather, you're navigating around an unconscious population while you are conscious. However, you're holding your field together in a manner where you blend in. Similar to how we do it in 3D. Alright, moving on. Now, dream times have quickened. Dream time and the effectiveness of how that affects my vessel when I wake up. The dreams are becoming more and more real. To a degree, I feel that I can honestly imagine a day when I'm in a dream time and I wake up and they're almost exactly the same. That's what I'm saying is coming. People want to talk about what's coming, what's it going to feel like. Well, imagine waking up in a different dimension and you're awake. Okay. In Sedona, this place holds a higher resonance or a higher frequency than the surrounding areas. That's why a lot of people come visit Sedona in Arizona, northern Arizona. The frequency or the vibration scientifically is higher than the resonance of the surrounding area. Why? There's iron oxide in these red rocks. So when there's lightning strikes, like there was two nights ago, right? Crazy windstorms, lightning strikes. Those lightning strikes charge the ground. So not only is there vortexes and pulse points, vortexes energy coming up, pulse points energies being drilled down, but there's also a higher frequency wave which is carried and held in the rocks. There are, I forget what it is, but I know Sedona is definitely in the top 10 for lightning strikes in the United States, if not top 5 or top 3. But lots of lightning strikes. Okay, so to feel that type of vibration go through your body, to feel that type of vibration of basically your waking life drifting into what you are doing in your dream time, when that gap gets closer and closer and closer and closer, you are now walking in that world. Okay? There are many different things that I want to share with you. Instantly when I talk about that, I instantly want to talk to you guys about cloaking and how that works, and how to make yourself invisible. Let's talk about that. I like to add some supernatural stuff with my videos because I feel that you guys should not only know how to do this, but some of you guys already do this, and you're going to find this very relevant for you. When you cloak yourself, you're not really turning invisible. This is what you're doing. If I'm driving in a car and I need to get someplace very, very fast, I want to cloak myself. Okay, I shouldn't use that analogy. Okay, if you walk into an airport, a train station, somewhere in public where you don't want anyone to see you or get attached to you, you basically imagine a cloak. You put on this black cloak, whatever cloak of your color, purple, whatever that is for you, right? And you shield your light from, what you're really doing is shielding your light from the others around you so they can't perceive you. So when I cloak and I go into a territory, I cloak my energy, here's some of the things you gotta be careful about. Once I was driving to an activation mission where I had to drive to Phoenix from Sedona, and I cloaked my car because I had like 48 minutes to drive 90 miles. Okay. Ken, don't do this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened though. Spun a circle of energy around my car, basically moved all the molecules, and basically my car went bloop off the radar. Okay. Now what happens is when you're driving that fast, or when you're cloaking, this is an example now, okay? When you're doing that, all the other drivers around you can't see you. It's not that you're invisible, you just basically came off of their conscious sight. They can't literally see you, okay? I give this as an example, not while you're driving or to do this. No, this is what I'm saying. That was just a real experience. I know for a fact that's true because I had someone actually get over in front of me not knowing that I was, you know, and you're in a completely different vibration. Now, similar things take place when you cloak your energy when you go into public, because what you're doing is you're trying to hold all that energy into yourself. This is why I make this recommendation for you. Until you are strong enough to expand and blow the room out, pay attention to where you're going. Don't be a chump. You're going to go downtown, you're going to walk downtown in the streets, you're going to do some stuff. Hey, cloak on. You want to go to the park, you want to go to the beach, you want to go to your house in the backyard, expand. Okay? Just understand when to cloak and when to expand. People need to understand this stuff. Okay? When you guys need to be aware enough and really feel what it feels like to be in your suit, because when you get hooked, you know, usually when you get a hook, they're like this. There's an energy cord attached to it, right? Like this. And they try to hook onto your stream, and they usually try to hook you here. Here, here, right here, here, okay? When you're dealing with an emotional situation, when you're dealing with a family member, when you're dealing with a loved one, you're dealing with a friend, when you're dealing with a conflict, when you're dealing with a situation, pay attention when you go out in public and go to a bar with your friends, okay? It's not your friends, obviously, it's the environment. When you go there and you're a light being and you hang out for me, my time limit is about 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and I gotta exit. Now, if you want to stay there longer, you need to go outside, take a breath of fresh air, expand your field, clear everything off you, then come back in. Okay. Just so we're completely clear, the being of the highest vibration rules the room. So if you want to clear out an entire bar, my recommendation is to you, mind you, without malice or power or anything weird like that, before you step into the place, send out your concussion wave. Boom, 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 boom. Expand. Everyone's higher self know in that room, I'm about to step in the room. Can you please keep these things off of me? And what happens is you actually see, the bigger you are, here's everyone's cables coming up from the bar. Here's all the individuals in 3D. Here's all their cables coming up to their higher selves. When you're large, you actually bend everyone's higher self's cable out of your way. It makes like a huge V. And you kind of like make an archway, and then you step in. I say this for some of you guys because I want to give you a very cool visual of what happens when you guys do this naturally and you don't really understand what's going on because you don't have the visual. Okay? The visual. Okay? So that's what's happening. You're actually moving all that stuff out of your space. Now, check this out. You're supposed to be the coolest dude in the room if you're rocking the highest vibration. So my job is when I walk into a place like that, I start moving the energy, spinning the energy around the entire building, and I start kicking the frequency up, so everyone starts having a more and more awesome time. You know, it's like being on the dance floor, and all of a sudden it's like dubstep just drops the beat. It's like boom, 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 boom. You know, it starts going off, and everyone's like, ah! It's like that with your energy. Okay. So for some of you awesome beings out there that are very introverted, if you get better at shielding or cloaking, you don't have to carry that stuff home, and you can go out more often. Here's my goal: go out and have some good times. Don't feel like you can't go out inside and enjoy yourself. Just understand that the mental state, when you get into a situation, you step into that situation as an aware, conscious being. Okay? Another thing too, you drink alcohol, you're going to drop the frequency. So check this out. Every time I have a glass of wine, I know that my dream time is going to suffer. Unfortunately, I have watched my dream time go from I'm on spaceship, I'm on ship, I'm floating on a unicorn on a rainbow. Okay? I have one glass of red wine, okay? Not a real big deal, okay? But for me it is, okay? One glass of red wine. And I noticed that instead of shooting this gap, I'm like this. of what my chemical computer can remember. Mind you, I'm not saying my energy isn't hitting the higher spectrum, but what I'm saying is my conscious memory when I wake up, my little USB drive, my chemical computer when I wake up, the references or thought forms that I pull down are of a lower spectrum. Okay? Just understand that. Just real talk. Hey, when you do something and you get really good at your consistency, your gym, your vitamins, your workout, your meditation, you know, drink that kombucha out there. You know what I'm saying? Here's the deal. Know your body. Know your suit. Know your vessel. Here's why. If you really know your energy and what your thought forms normally are and the mood that you want to be in at all times, when anything tries to attach to you or hook to you or affect you or slam into you with their conscious garbage, you can feel it and adjust it right then. Boom. Get off me, homie. Get off me, homie. Oh yeah, that's real great. Get off me, homie. Go back to school. So when you walk through a space, you actually are ping, 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 ping. That's fun. See you in the next incarnation. No, I'm not your babysitter. And whose kid is this? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. The faster you are at deflecting the energy, the faster you are at transmuting it, mind you. Many divine, awesome females across the planet. Here's one of the most amazing skill sets you have, which is naturally innate to you. The power of transmutation. The power to transmute any negative thing into something awesome. Women have this in their physical suits. Not saying guys can't do that either, mind you. They're strong in their feminine, strong in that balance. But women have an amazing ability to transmute low frequency into something awesome. Okay? So it's really nice out there across planet Earth when you have a very strong female. That especially when the guys are processing some stuff, right? The females are there, right? Your partner is there. Male or female, here's the deal. Sometimes we choose a suit that best suits us. And when we incarnate onto this planet, let your energy, let your soul speak to what you want to be. And truly upstairs, I know for a fact above 12D, a lot of androgynous beings. So down here on Earth, we kind of have these modalities, but I thought I should show it from my heart. I just want you guys to know that. The higher up in frequency you go, it's kind of funny. They're like, what would you like me to be? What would best suit you? And you're like, oh no, it's like that. They're like, I can change anything I want to. I'm like, oh, okay, that's enough. Pump the brakes. So, energy is energy, love is love, abundance is abundance, balance is balance. Harmonizing your environment with every breath you exhale is a walk of a master. Harmonizing your concussion waves are those boom, 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 those light waves that shoot out of your chest when you walk into a public situation. I have everyone's higher self like break their neck, like whang. I'm like, hi, before I even walk into the place, can everyone please just move back a little bit? I don't want a concussion wave through you. And you actually see, because everything's vibration, beings go, hey, yeah, no problem, I got you, I got him, and they move, here's the little vessel, move it over here. You'll notice in the gym, when you start crushing, I'll be on an elliptical machine getting it, and I open my eyes 20 minutes later, and the entire gym is like cleared out. So be careful with your energy too. You have to understand that when you start moving large amounts of energy, it affects everything around you. So when you guys do your energy manipulation in your rooms, or in your backyard, or when you're practicing, when you go to the beach, when you go to the park, when you go to the stream, when you go to the forest, please do every sentient being a favor and go, hi, I'm about to practice my energy manipulation and moving energy. Can you please request that everyone step back? Give everyone a heads up that you're about to move some large amounts of energy. It's a very respectful thing to do, and it's a very nice thing to do. Because you're putting that out into the universe that I'm about to train now. I call it my cardio. He's about to do cardio. Please stand back. That's why I like to do it. So, the references I give you are these little things to help you when you're feeling this stuff, that you have some sort of understanding of what that is. Why can I go in and cloak? Or you ever been to a party? This is a reference, maybe you were in high school or something, but someone walked into the party that you didn't want to see, and you kind of felt like yourself, like cloaking yourself and kind of like moving around the person. It's kind of similar to that, okay? This is a more conscious thing to do. When you go into the airports, public areas, all that jazz, cloak, unless you're strong enough, like I said, to deal with what's there. You know, you slam those wings out of your back and just move. That's one way to do it. However, if you're just waking up, you're just finding these videos, understand the conscious thought that I want nothing negative to attach to me while I'm in this space. Good. When you get home, if you have a situation like that, sage. Oh, you should see us when we get back from a social gathering, whatever. I go right into the sage. I'm going to give my sage. Clear this off of me. You know, clear this off of me. When you get the sage stick, see if I have one right here. Oh, I do. Remember to always get underneath your hands. Okay? Off your fingers, you know, because each of your fingers have a different element that it operates in. Make sure you, when you're using the sage stick, that you move it from the back forward and then all the way off of your body. Same thing with your ankles and your feet. A lot of the energy gets caught around your ankles. Yeah, so here's my foot, here's my ankle. Here's my foot, here's my ankle. When you're moving energy down your leg, there's little bands of energy that'll sit in your ankle. You need to get those off of you and then all the way off your toes. And then release over here. When people clear, sometimes they just go clear, clear, clear. All that stuff sits on your ankles. You need to really get that off of you. Himalayan salt baths work awesome. Salt baths work awesome. I like to sit in the shower and have the shower head over me, have the hot water hit the back of my neck and my back, and I say clear, down the drain, clear, clear, clear. That really helps me. Flow of the universe. Okay, now that was some. Now let's talk about some fun stuff. Okay, here we go. The biggest interpretation that you're going to find when you're elevating someone's consciousness or you're planting seeds of consciousness, this is some things you must understand. There are things that you want to share that are going to aid and balance the population of Earth and have them raise their frequencies. What I need you to understand, though, is that there are things on their streams, on individual people's streams, that do not want to hit that evolution button, that like to keep you exactly where you are, like a chihuahua on a leash, and don't want you to evolve because you're their food source. So what I'm trying to express to you is sometimes when people plant seeds into your mind, into your space, into your spirit, to remind you how to wake up and snap out of the slavery world that you've incarnated on, to remember that some of the things that you will share are going to disrupt their belief system. It disrupts their belief system because you're disrupting the control that's been controlling them since they were little kids and incarnated in this place. You're also transmuting and balancing past lives where they actually rocked a negative vibration or polarity in which they are paying amends for now. No one can point a finger at anyone specifically. We are all reflections of one another. But do not be a chump to actually what is happening when you are actually balancing someone out or sharing something with somebody that they need to hear. You do not pump the brakes or pause on you sharing your truth because they really need to hear it. Okay? That is something I wanted to share with you. If you can do that without engaging someone's ego, you win. That's the whole goal. You're gonna share some truth with somebody. You're gonna help somebody. Can you share your truth to assist them without engaging their ego? As soon as you engage someone's ego, or that lower night thing snaps in front, they put the mask on, the conversation is over. Walk away. All you're going to get from that point on is conflict, 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 in one ear, out the other. If you get very good at helping those, observing first, do not react to anything. Observe, share, observe, share, observe, share. The issue is that understand that there are things attached to these people, just like in the Matrix. Until you wake up in the Matrix can use you to do whatever it wants, can utilize you, right? If you're not unplugged from the Matrix, here's the deal. When you start unplugging people from the Matrix, to understand that they're now going to be more responsible for their emotions, some of the things that have been blocked for a very long time, and to hold space, have love, and not take things personally when they react to some of the things that you might share with them, or some of the truths that you have also walked in your own experience that may assist them. Understand that we are getting through this together. So the goal is that if we can raise the entire vibration of the population and at least let them know some of the things they might be feeling and have some sort of an insight on that, rather than I just feel weird when I wake up in the morning, I wonder what that is, or I had a really weird dream. Barbara, what does that mean? Okay. The more specific you are, the more conscious you are. The more conscious you are, the more aware you are. Okay? And the more aware you are, that's a huge sign of intelligence. Okay? Just want to be completely clear with that. That soul intelligence, which comes from your heart and your oversoul, that old, right? It feels very different when it comes to your body. But it's that type of lesson plan that we incarnated with to make those experiences, to rectify some of our actions that have taken place in the past, to heal our collective consciousness on Earth, to create the most awesome planet in our solar system. Sorry, Venus. And I love Venus. It's always a competition with me. I'm like, come on, Earth, we can do it. So my thing is that really appreciate the garden that we have to play in. Play well with one another. Understand that your heart first in that situation. Remember in your energy field when something tries to hook onto you. When you have a bad dream at 3:30 in the morning, do not roll over and bite your pillow and take it. Wake up, sage your room, put on some Enigma, go back into a balanced state of being, then go back to sleep. Because the way you wake up in that middle of that dream at 3:30 in the morning is directly going to affect how you wake up in the morning at 8, 7 a.m. when you go to work. Do not let someone push on your field, right? Or try to affect you without you having the courage, the ability, and the action to blow whatever it is out of your field and say, go mess with somebody else, child, and move them off of you. Okay? There's a lot of little things running around down here, but if I could just remind you how beautiful, large, and powerful beings you truly are, you will see that they're just ankle biters. Right? That's what my higher self say. They're like, they're always like this. I'm like, yo man, what's going on? What's popping off? They always go like this to me. They're like, ankle. So I share that with you to give you guys some sort of perspective on how large and awesome you are. And to understand the larger you are, the bigger you are, the larger the field you have, guess what? Those little things don't bother you anymore. You know, when you see a lot of these guys who really expand their field, you know, and really have control of their energy and, you know, have that integrity, the small things no longer affect them. Yes, there are things that do come into their field to test them, but the manner in which they deal with it completely changes based upon their experience and their wisdom that they have attained thus far and how they deal with that situation. Okay? So, my name is Rion. An absolute pleasure talking to you guys today. I'm making some new stuff for your bathtubs. It's a little thing that goes over the drain, so after you clear, that stuff can't come back up the drain. I have one in my bathroom. Everyone's like, dude, make me one of those. I was like, all right. And then obviously some new stuff I'm going to load to Galactic Wands and to Etheric Tech. And obviously if you guys want to book a session, I'm at ascensionleague.com. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys today, and just know that together we process this reality, and together we will be successful. There are many amazing and awesome beings, many of which are staring at me right now on this planet. To remember where you come from, to remember what galaxy you herald from, and to remember that your heart governs all actions. Stay in that place and we shall all be very, 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 very pleased with the outcome. Blessings from Sedona.